Experience both is better.
Probably true. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, sorry. This is so awkward. So what project are you working on?
Okay, so I am a senior, and I'm in the honors college, so I'm working on my honors
gotcha.
thesis. And I'm working with the Maine Winery Guild, which is a guild of about 28 or 29 wineries across the state.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested in how the winery owners are conceptualizing and practicing sustainability, if at all, with respect to both. So there's this concept known as the triple bottom line framework of sustainability, where a business will think about their social sustainability, their environmental sustainability, as well as their economic. So I'm just wondering if that's a trend that's present in wineries across the state.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you get involved with that?
So I have been doing food systems research on campus for the last
gotcha.
3 years.
That's
and
awesome.
so the Honors College itself has this consortium known as the Sustainable Food Systems Research Collaborative.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a fellow in that for a previous project.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I had intentions to kind of pursue that project for my honors thesis, but it just got to this point where I wasn't really interested in it anymore, and I kind of wanted to go my own way. And so honestly, I was drinking wine one night, and I was like, I wonder if I could do anything with this. And I sort of looked up whether or not Maine had a wine industry, because there's been so much growth with the craft brew in the last 5 years or so. So I was like, I wonder if wine has that same sort of following in the state. Yeah, and it's definitely not as profound as the brew industry, but I'm wondering if it can get to the point where it could be.
Yeah.
And then sort of globally too, we don't really think of Maine or New England or the Northeast of the U.S. as a wine place, and it's more of California and Australia and Europe, and so in a lot of those places there has been this transition to sort of start thinking about sustainability with respect mostly to the environment. People are starting to become really concerned with the impact of grape growing and winemaking on the environment. So I was thinking it'd be cool to sort of see if small Maine wineries are thinking about that too.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of free wine out of it?
No, I got one bottle of free wine out of it, and that was it.
One bottle's worth.
And it was really bad, but it's fine.
That sucks. So what kind of environmental impacts would grape growing have? Are there specific things?
So what's interesting is in terms of Maine, not a lot of the winemakers are growing their own grapes.
Yeah.
There's about 2 that are, because it's not really the climate to grow grapes in. But generally speaking, the impacts of grape growing are just as any other agricultural product. You have your water use, you have the pesticide use, just soil erosion, everything they talk about. I don't know what your majors are, but I'm an environmental as an environmental science student, we learn all of these things about the impacts of agriculture, and especially with mass quantity winemakers, they're growing in such mass production, and anytime you're doing agriculture in such a large quantity, there's bound to be some negative repercussions on the environment. And so that, generally speaking, that is,
a big part of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's so awesome.
Do you think a lot of farmers are really engaging in the idea of being more sustainable and stuff? Because from what I understand, the farming industry in Maine has been very grassroots initiative of being more sustainable as much as they can.
So in Maine specifically for the winemakers?
Yeah.
I think you're right in general that Maine is really unique in the fact that we do have a ton of small diversified farms that are operated by a lot of young people, and that there is this trend where they do consider the environment and they are practicing agriculture with the intention to be a good steward of the land. And that's not what I'm seeing a lot in the winemakers. My project only interviewed 10, just because it's a year-long project, and the scope of the research, I couldn't do more than that.
Yeah.
Right.
But there was only a couple that were growing their own produce for their winemaking, and it was interesting because those that are growing their own products, they do have some concern about the environment, and they try to minimize their inputs and be attentive. But at the scale that they're producing at too, it was interesting because not a lot of them thought it was as important as maybe some other.
Some bigger.
Yeah. So.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of the research that you're doing in your final thesis,
Yes.
what is that going to look like in the end?
I just got out of a really tough meeting this
Oh,
morning
great.
about it.
I'm so sorry.
So, no, it's fine. So I'm at the point where I've finished my interviews and I'm starting to actually go through the data and code it. And so coding is like what we do is social science research is you kind of scan through your interviews and you try to find some parallels across the different transcripts of the interviews and see if there's commonalities between what people are saying, kind of group things together. And so that's sort of where I'm at right now, trying to make sense of all of those things. The final project, though, in terms of the thesis, it's like a ginormous paper that has, mine's 40 pages already, and it's not even halfway done. But it's like your introduction and sort of framing your own work in the context of the greater scope. So that's where I talk about sort of this transition in the global wine industry towards sustainability, you know, whether or not that can be seen in Maine. And then I'll talk about my methods, which were the interviews, and then start to write up my results and then discuss some things.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's a tough
40 pages already.
I know, yeah. So sorry, I'm in a little bit of a
I
mood right now.
I'm in the class to like prep you for the honors thesis because I'm a junior, and like I'm scared.
It's no okay. Don't get me wrong. It's a completely worthwhile experience, and it's very valuable. And if you work with the right people, you have fun. My roommate and my best friend is an English major as well, who's doing honors. So she's doing a creative side of things.
Really?
So
What's her name?
Her name's Emma Hutchinson.
I love Emma.
Yeah, she's the sweetest.
She's great.
Yeah. So, she can definitely talk to you more about it. She's had a totally different experience than I have. And, you know, my other best friend, Laura, she's like way hard science, like marine science. So her project is even more completely different than mine. So it's super unique, and you get to pursue your own interests and take it as far as you can. And I think it's such a great opportunity as an undergraduate to be exposed to that kind of thing. So be a little scared,
So be okay.
but be like really excited and happy too, because it's a fun experience. It is a lot of work.
Yeah. That's the general consensus.
Yeah,
that I've heard
definitely,
so far.
for sure.
But I'll figure it out.
You will.
So are you graduating this semester?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So
2 more
you're
months.
literally right in the midst of planning all that out.
Yeah.
Nice.
So fun.
Yeah. Sounds it. So how long have you been working on this project? The whole past year? Is that okay?
So the idea sort of came to me late last summer, probably like August or something. Because again, I was like, had this whole plan for continuing another project, and then I was just like, I don't want to do that anymore. And so I just started over and I was definitely inspired by things that I did in the past with terms of like sustainability in a food system, but this was something totally new. But yeah, I started really like thinking about my project and thinking about what I wanted to ask and what my research questions would be, like late last summer. And then a lot of last semester was kind of writing the literature and writing the introduction and thinking about my methods and then doing the interviews. And then this semester has been a lot more of the analysis and the writing of the results and the discussion and things like that.
So in terms of the Cougar, do you get money for that?
Yeah.
So did you use that to continue to research or like?
Yeah, so Cougar gave me, the Cougar Academic Year Fellowships are about $1,000, and I used that for travel expenses because I went to 10 wineries across the state, across the state. I was like down at the New Hampshire border one day and like up in Presque Isle the next day. But so I used it to cover travel expenses, and then also I had my interviews transcribed by a third party, so that person took my audio and typed them all up because that would have taken me so many hours.
That's what we do.
Yeah. I've done it before, but I only had to do like 5, but it took me so much longer than I thought it was going to. So I was like, I don't have the time for that, so we just paid someone to do it, which was so helpful.
Yeah. I bet.
Yeah. So that's what that was. And that was, this project would have been so much harder had I not had that fellowship to do that.
For sure. How long did it take you to get around to all the wineries? Was it like over the course of the semester or?
Yeah, I went with my advisor, Mark Haggerty, who's an honors professor, and he and I tried to do like 2 wineries a trip, and so I think we ended up going on 5 trips, and we got them done I think within like a 3 or 4 week period.
Wow.
Yeah, there was one week where we did 2 days, and my schedule as a senior has been pretty relaxed in terms
Yeah.
of actual classes that I need to take. So I had a lot of flexibility within my weekly schedule to kind of go around and do them. So, but they were exhausting days too. I mean,
Yeah,
some of these
especially
people
with
could.
Mark Haggerty.
Yeah.
God love him.
Yeah, he can talk, and then
Oh
a
my
bunch
God.
of these winery owners can just go off. I mean, there was some
Yeah.
occasions where I designed the script to be an hour, and so I stayed with one person for 3,
Oh,
and I was
wow.
just like, I'm so tired.
Yeah, can we
Please
be-
let me go home.
please be done.
And then I would have to drive like 2 more hours to
Yeah.
get back to Orono. So it was a long but very rewarding
Yeah.
process, definitely.
That's awesome.
Farmers love to talk about what they're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So it was
Their
cool.
blood and their sweat and tears and everything. Yeah. So why did you choose environmental science in the
Oh,
first place?
well, I actually came into college with a nutrition major.
Oh, really?
Then I quickly realized I don't want to do that. I didn't want to, because I was going to be like a registered dietitian, do all of that
Yeah.
stuff, and I just realized I didn't really want to work in hospitals, and for a while I thought I didn't really want to work with people. And so I switched to environmental science because I've kind of always had this affinity for the outdoors and things like that, and making the world a better place given the whole turmoil that we're in.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the reason for my switch, and then I never looked back. I just fell right in love with the curriculum that I was enrolled in, and once my research opportunities started to like come up too, and I
Yeah.
have done 2 other ones outside of my thesis, like I just got really, really
Into it.
passionate about
That's
what I was
awesome.
studying, and yeah, I've narrowed down my studies a lot too. So
Yeah.
environmental science with the sustainability and policy concentration, and then I minor in economics and sustainable food
Damn.
systems too. So I have this really like niche
Yeah.
focus on food systems research mostly. Yeah.
That's so cool.
So I enjoy it a lot.
Good. That's how you know you're in the right major.
I know. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. Definitely.
Cool.
I envy you. I'm still declared.
Oh, it's okay. All right, what year are you?
Freshman.
Freshman. Okay,
Yeah.
so you got time.
He's a newbie.
Yeah, you got time to figure it out. Just getting all your gen eds out of the way, right? That's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also in the honors college, so I don't really need to do it.
Oh,
but I'm
that's
just
true.
doing gen eds anyways, because I still don't know
Yeah.
like which classes I should be
Yeah,
taking. It
well-
kind of defeats the purpose, really.
Yeah, that's just true. Emma was undecided. My roommate Emma was
Really?
undecided our freshman year too.
Yeah.
It took her a little while to find out she wanted to do English,
Yeah.
but it's just a bunch of trial and really thinking about what it is and exploring the programs. Maybe see if there's professors you like too. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
It's a fun process. Do you have any other questions?
Not off the top of my head.
Have you guys heard of any other cool projects going on? It's always amazes me how much student research there is and how
It's
like
crazy.
diverse everyone
Yeah,
is
people
too.
don't hear about it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of different interviews. Mostly we've been focusing on art students. We're currently working on 3 different art students that were recommended to us by professors. And then Elizabeth, who we were probably emailing with, she's been doing some interviews with other students who I think were Cougar recipients, but I don't know their projects yet because I haven't looked at the transcriptions. But yeah, so there have been some really cool projects.
There's
But
one about a kid who's running an oyster farm.
Oh.
He's
Yeah.
a freshman and he just started an oyster farm.
Wow.
yeah,
That's
just
so on
awesome.
his own. It makes me feel so like
Oh,
unsuccessful.
no, don't feel like that.
No, but yeah, no, there's some really cool stuff.
Yeah,
But
there's
that's
so
what we're
many
trying to
awesome
do.
ways to be involved on campus too.
Yeah.
Like work with the main journal is probably amazing.
Yeah,
It's cool getting to see all the like
Yeah.
interesting stuff that people get to work
Yeah,
on.
definitely.
Definitely.
it's cool to like hear about it. But yeah, we're like new to working on the main journal. Like, this is our first semester, so we're still trying to figure out like what we're trying to. I don't know. Yeah.
Like, we're not really
What our
given
mission
like told
is.
exactly what to do. It's kind of like
Okay.
make your own path.
Yeah.
So,
DIY main journal.
basically.
So yeah, we're just trying to like interview as many students as we can and figure out what stories we want to focus
Yeah,
on.
get your creative juices flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
can be tough.
But yeah,
Is there anything that you think would make like important details to the story
to your story.
that we haven't covered?
Okay, so we talked about sort of why I got into it. I talked about what the project itself looks like. Talked about what I've found a little bit. Yeah. Really. Yeah, we talked about Cougar. I'll be presenting at the symposium next month that they always have for the student research.
Right.
That's exciting.
Maybe. No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm happy to discuss the results and stuff in more depth if you want to, but I know probably since this is just preliminary that you're not super interested in that, but
Yeah, I think what we're probably going to do with this is transcribe it and look it up, and or type it up, and then what we've been doing so far with all the other students is we go through and sort of like pull out the points that we really want to focus on for the story, because we're trying to really focus on like the academic aspects of it and the
sure.
applications there. So if it's okay with you, could we email you and set up, like, once we figure out what we're doing?
Yeah, of course.
And set up like a formal interview, and that would be like full camera and lights, and
Oh,
if that's cool
goodness,
with you.
okay.
But no pressure. We could just do like a.
I hope you guys are. I just did that sort of thing for Cougar last week,
Yeah.
and I like choked so many times because there's like a camera on me, and I got so nervous. But they were really good at like cutting and pasting, and so as long as you guys do that stuff and it's not some
That's all
sort of okay, cool, because
He's got it.
I can't speak super eloquently on camera for like
No,
a
it's
long
okay.
period of
Scary.
time. It's so
We
scary.
also post like normal articles and stuff too, so
Yeah,
if you do
so
want
if
to
you-
do a written thing, we can do that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Especially
that's-
if you've already had the whole camera experience.
It's up to you guys. But I'm down for whatever most of the time. Yeah, hopefully I'm less stressed next time we meet. if
We can just
meet.
drink some wine.
Oh
you
my
know?
gosh, we could
Actually,
do that.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, I'll just bring
Yeah,
some
that's
wine. I mean,
awesome.
for my thesis defense, that's my intention. I'm just bringing wine
them
and
drunk.
cheese and be like, you guys are gonna pass me with high honors
That's
because
awesome.
I'm just gonna get you drunk.
That's such a good idea. You should actually do that.
No, I
So
think I
funny.
will bring wine, but I probably cannot get my thesis committee drunk. That
Yeah.
would probably be frowned upon.
Maybe a
But
little bit, but whatever.
you never know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well then, I guess we will be in touch.
Okay.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Yeah, you're
This was
welcome.
awesome.
Okay,
And it's
so
such
I'm
a cool
sure.
project.
Yeah, thank you.